Well, here we are as human beings with yet another war in our world. John Steinbeck, the American author, wrote, "All war is a symptom of man's failure as a thinking animal." All war is a symptom of man's failure as a thinking animal. I'm Doyle Banks. I'm a personal and professional transformation coach and educator. And I invite you to spend a few minutes with me here and let's think together about how we think and what are the ways that we as human beings keep thinking that keeps perpetuating war. And then let's ask ourselves and think about, are there other ways that we can think that could create a different kind of world, a world of peace, a world without war? As I've been thinking about our world situation over the past week, I've come to understand three ways that we miss the mark or that we make mistakes in our thinking that can end up resulting in war. One is through moralistic judgment thinking. Another is through enemy image thinking. And thirdly, there's being against, being anti-thinking. Marshall Rosenberg, the author of the book Nonviolent Communication, A Language of Life, as he did his study of human behavior, he came to understand that when we get angry, we tend to resort to moralistic judgments, moralistic thinking. And that sets us up then for things like good, bad, right, wrong, and so deserves to be punished. So deserves violent words or actions to bring them into line, to make them toe the line, or to make them change to our liking. He wrote these words. He said, "I would like to suggest that killing people is too superficial. Killing, hitting, blaming, hurting others, whether physically or emotionally, are all superficial expressions of what is going on within us when we are angry. If we are truly angry, we would want a much more peaceful way to express it." Think about it for a minute. What would it be like if we could sit down with each other when we're angry and rather than resorting to moralistic judgments and then to violence, to killing one another and declaring war on each other, we could really listen to each other at the level of what Marshall called universal human needs. And in seeing, hearing, and understanding one another's needs, we could realize our potential for compassion for ourselves and each other, and then work together, create connection, and work together from that place of compassion, cooperation, harmony. What a different world that could. Secondly, then there's the idea of enemy images. I don't know about you, but I've had lots of occasions in my life where I've created enemy images in my heart and mind of various people, individuals and groups and so on, even of myself. The best example I can think of where that idea was thrown out and something different put in its place was in the work that Mohandas K. Gandhi and the people of India did to bring a peaceful transition of power about, and the British relinquishing their rule over the nation of India. Gandhi taught himself and practiced and taught those who worked with him to remove enemy images from their hearts and minds so that they could see the British as equals and meet them on equal footing. He realized that as long as he held this enemy image of the British or anyone else, that there would always be that power differential, that power over dynamic, and that there would only be violence as the way to try to resolve it. And he held out hope, and he was very disciplined in holding on this no enemy image. He called it ahimsa, was the word that he used, no enemy image. And as we know from history, the British saw that they were indeed doing more harm to themselves than they were to even to the people of India, and realized, it's time to bring this to an end, and brought it to a peaceful and honorable end for everyone. Thirdly, then there's the thinking of being against, being anti. And Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, said, "What we resist persists." I don't know about you, but we can see this even just in the context of our own individual lives, when there have been times that I have wanted to end a bad habit, an unhealthy habit, and replace it with a healthy habit. I've come up against lots of resistance, whether it was my love of sweets or food or whatever it might have been when I was trying to get myself in shape. Lots of resistance. And it's the same way in our relationships. Maybe if you're significant other relationship and you've tried to make some changes in your couple, in how you do your relationship, maybe you've run into resistance from your partner, or if they've wanted to make some changes, maybe you've found yourself being resistant. So you get the idea. And of course, then this happens between nations, and we see it happening yet again today. Whenever we resist, what we resist is going to persist. And Mother Teresa understood this. She was asked once why I don't participate in anti-war demonstrations. I said that I will never do that, but as soon as you have a pro-peace rally, I'll be there. So she understood that resisting war would just end up likely in more war. Edwin Starr, the 1970s Motown musician, singer, and songwriter, he wrote the famous song War, and in it he penned the lines, "War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. War, it ain't nothing but a heartbreaker. War, it got one friend. It's the undertaker." He saw clearly that war would never put an end to war. Hatred would never put an end to hatred. And he understood that love was the way. Compassion was the way. So, coming back to John Steinbeck, he understood that we fall down, we fail as thinking animals when we resort to war. And Yoko Ono understood this as well. She penned the words in the famous song Imagine. "You may think that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world can be as one." I'll admit, I'm a child of the 60s. I still have some of the naivete that world peace could be realized in my lifetime. Well, maybe I don't have quite so much naivete exactly like that, but I do hold out hope that we as human beings could rise up to our full potential and make peace peaceful world a reality. So, will you join me? Will you look into your own heart and mind and see where maybe you are making moralistic judgments or holding an enemy image or being anti something or someone, and do some work around that. If you need, get some help, from a friend, a therapist, a spiritual guide, or a coach, and work at cleaning some of that out of your psyche, out of your energy and your being, and recreate yourself as a body, an embodiment of peace and harmony. And then let's teach each other what we know about that. Let's share our wisdom and see how far we can get in bringing the world to a place of peace, of understanding, of compassion, cooperation, and harmony. Again, I'm Doyle Banks. I thank you so much for your kind attention, for joining me on this video. And please share your thoughts about this. We need to help each other. We need to be talking and sharing with each other to encourage one another, support one another, and help one another create different ways, healthier ways, more loving and peaceful ways of looking at situations where we have differences and conflicts, coming up with different ways to resolve those things rather than violence and war. I believe that we can do it. I believe in myself. I believe in you. I believe in us and our power to make this happen. I wish you peace and joy. I send you my love in all sincerity. And I look forward to being with you again soon in another video. Please take good care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. And let's make the world a peaceful place.